Welcome to the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. Ron Nicoletti along with Pete Aiello, our track announcer. And Pete, that saying that if you don't like the weather in Florida, just wait a day, that has come true. Yesterday it was absolutely freezing out here. Today it is a Chamber of Commerce day. Beautiful day. We're starting the day with a fast main track. We got a good turf course. We do have one race off the turf today. That is race number 10. But all the other races scheduled will run on the grass, as I mentioned. Listed is good. Pete, we got that $150,000 jackpot guarantee going into our fifth race today.
Yeah, that's almost a formality here this afternoon. The carryover is north of the $140,000 marker, so you'll be playing for quite a bit more than $150,000 in the Rainbow Six today. Paid over $10,000 yesterday with a sequence that started off real easy. Walk away slow, got the job done at 1-5, but got significantly difficult after that. Upset winners included Little Boss and then a big upsetter in the final race over a 30-1 shot.
I don't know how big of an upset Little Boss was. We gave him out on the morning show here. Someone did as one of their picks. So we'll see how this goes. The Super High Five, 6,000. That was tough to hit yesterday. I don't know. I knew no one was going to hit that one. So you got a real nice carryover, 6,000. And I'm always amazed that they hit this thing. They hit this thing on a regular basis. I got to believe it's got to be some really sharp handicappers that know how to put those dollar tickets together because it pays awful nice.
Exactly. Yesterday in the last race was $700, so it certainly stand to reason that the high five would not be cashed. Big upsetters in yesterday's last race, as well as Little Boss, who Ronnie's going to start early on me. I guess it was an upset from my standpoint as he knocked me out of the Rainbow Six.
Well, let's go to the first race today. 1 mile on this good turf course. These are maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The rail today is set at 15 feet today. See it up there off the turf, race 10 off the turf, but the rail is 15 feet throughout the day. We're scheduled for 5. I think they moved them all out to 15. I want to go back and show you. Oh, also scratch the number 1 in here, Fast Andrea, who's one of my picks. But I want to go back and show you race 2 from October 26th when the horse in here called Redwater gets shuffled back a little bit on the far turn, then closes wide. When this horse is closing wide, it's off the screen, so you'll see it now getting shuffled back a little bit here. That's the 2 red that gets shuffled back, and it has to go back and just doesn't have a place to run early, and then turns for home, swings very, very wide in this race. You'll see it when she comes around, and she comes down, Pete, closes between horses and finishes her. You see her out there pretty darn wide on the thing. You see out of the screen, then she comes up, and she closes pretty good to be third, as I mentioned. That's the reason I put her on my ticket, and that's she is the 4 today, and that is Redwater. You'll see her coming right now and just closing between horses, coming late now into your picture. There she is. Coming up. I just thought she took the overland room, got shuffled back early, and ran pretty darn good.
She sure did. I'd like to see the head onto that race. I'm sure the path was not a straight one there. She was in about the 6 path, ended up in about the 4 path, and you saw a horse had to take up as she was blowing past that horse. Redwater is a horse that's proven that she can run well at this level. She's not proven that she can win, though, but then I guess that's the nature of the beast when you're dealing with maidens on the bottom. For me in here, I went to the new face, as you probably are not surprised with that idea. Number 3, coming in from Monmouth Park. That may surprise you, I guess, but Pleasantly Miranda comes back for Chuck Simon, who's wintering here in South Florida after spending in the north for at least the last winter.
Right.
He's a longtime trainer here. He has success in South Florida. Actually, long ago at Hialeah Park, he used to train for Ken and Sarah Ramsey. So the guy definitely knows what he's doing. He's taken his time here with this filly. She was laid up since just a decent run. She finished last, but she only got beat 5 lengths. That was over the Meadowlands turf course, over a good turf course. Takes it around 2 turns here this afternoon and drops to the bottom. She's the fresh face for me, and I'll always go with the fresh face.
We basically have the same 3 horses up there. Royal Spaces, give it one more chance at trying to break maiden. She's at 15 races this year with 4 thirds. I don't know if she can win it, but certainly belongs somewhere on the ticket, and that's the number 9 Royal Spaces. You see our selections up there. We're pretty much in agreement, so should starting out to be a pretty shaky day, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Well, there's some races. Well, I mean, we're going to move into the second, and I'll set you up for the second race. There's some races here today that really look extremely formful. If they're not, standout races, they're 2-horse races, as we'll see in the upcoming second race.
Well, our second race is a 6 furlong claim at 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life, and we're going to go back and show you a race number 5 from October 27, and it's the top of the stretch to the wire. We keep them closing 4 wide. Pete to finish second.
He did. He was closing behind Reggae Boy, who was sent to the front and made a lonely lead for jockey Alan Mirage. Kaitan was on the outside, working hard the whole way. It's tough to tell sometimes with Boca Chica when he rides him because he's just so aggressive that you don't know how much horse he actually has where some of the guys would rather sit and go, Boca Chica will never get caught sleeping in that regard. He's going to ride him and chirp him along the whole way. Kaitan had every opportunity to get to Reggae Boy here, who was his chief rival that afternoon. Reggae Boy turned him away. Kaitan second at 4-5. That was his second start over this surface. He's now going to try to get the victory here today, but he'll be a short price again this afternoon.
Yeah, stretching out from that 5.5 furlong distance to 6 furlongs today looks like the logical choice in there. I went with the 3 sweeping change in second. So did you. Does his best running on the fast track. Gets the service today of Paco Lopez after just getting nose for second. That was against Similar, was on a sealed, sloppy track. Mike Petro is the trainer. And if you look at its record, it really does well when the surface is fast. So, I mean, number 3, sweeping change, a logical choice in there.
The only thing I want to tell you about Sweeping Change's last race is it was kind of an anomaly. He was well regarded that afternoon. I liked him a lot that day. The winner, Skibo in July, there was a couple things going on there that were a bit strange. First of all, he opened up about 12 lengths on the field, and second of all, he was handled by Luca Panici and did that.
Right.
So it was a very strangely run race. Forged ended up nosing Sweeping Change for second. That kind of tempered my enthusiasm because I don't think too highly of that horse. Skibo in July was 0 for the surface at Gulfstream Park West, but he went out to a kamikaze mission that ended up working out for him. So it was a race flow-wise, it was a strange race.
Well, you know, number 1, Be a Wildcat, breaks from the rail with enough tactical speed to get position. The problem has been holding that advantage. I got it penciled in for a minor award.
I'm always on the wrong side of this horse. I need him, he doesn't win. I don't need him, he runs me right off. As evident by his 10-length win July 1st. I remember that quite well, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, let's go to the third race today. 5 furlongs. These are maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Maiden special weight, scratch the 2. Coco Kiki, I think it is, and number 4, Candy's Lady. We got a video we're going to show you from November 5th, and it's first summation day in here.
Dave? You got somebody on your mind. We know who that is.
That is Pete, I meant to say. Yeah, whatever your name is. Here, show. I meant to say it's your race, so talk about it.
Yeah, first summation looked like on paper like she couldn't possibly lose. At this point in the race, I challenge anybody to tell me how she's going to lose, especially when the chief rival inside is Sterling Castle, who's trained by Sharon McGlitchy, who was 1 for the year, and was 30-1 that afternoon. First summation, watch this. This is just my opinion. Draw your own conclusions. Prado thinks he has this race won. He's not even chirping at her yet, and now Sterling Castle under Oscar Delgado's in full stride, and by the time the 2 was woken up for the drive, the 4 just has the momentum and runs by first summation. I don't know. For me, that's a beware backtrack. I did not like the way that horse was handled, so that may be a reason to give the horse another opportunity, but by the same token, was just flat out run by a horse she was supposed to handle.
Well, Sharon came over and told us right before the race that she was going to win, and certainly was right that afternoon. Told us right here and then she thought our horse shouldn't beat at odds, and certainly proved us wrong and her right. The number 6, Take the Dough and Run, will try and live up to its name. Her name today, this is a daughter of Arch, makes her debut for Paco Lopez. Eddie Plisa Jr., the trainer. This 3-year-old is bred up and down for the turf, being a daughter of Arch out of winning dough by Running Stag, so lots of turf there.
Yeah, the bottom side with the Running Stag makes me wonder if she won't appreciate going long a little bit better. Maybe this is a prep for something else, but she's well-bred and she gets Paco. She lured me to put her second. I'm kind of going to try to take a stand against first summation here. I think she'll be overbet again today. I love the 7 horse here, Braided, for a couple of different reasons. I don't know that she's going to need one because she's been freshened up since her last race by Tom Albertrani, but this is perfect patented Joe Bravo here because this filly has speed. She draws an outside gate, and the chief rival has the rail with a rider that's not exactly as aggressive as Bravo is. I figure that he's going to pretend this race is about a quarter of a mile, try to get to the front with Braided and hope she does not a work away. If she's not a work away, I think she's fast enough to clear this field, and under Jersey Joe, you'll get an aggressive ride.
Yeah, she hit the board of 1 of 3 turf sprints on the New York circuit. The last one was at 6 furlongs. But if you look at that turn back, she had a really good race at Saratoga at 5.5 furlongs. Now going back to 5. I think all the things you're saying are right. Joe Bravo will get her interested earlier. We got the 6. We got basically a lot alike today, just in the different orders.
Again, I think that this card is kind of the cream will rise to the top here. You just have to decide, like in this race, for example, if first summation goes odds on again, she's worth to try to beat because there's 2 viable contenders against her. The one thing I do want to say about Braided before we move to race number 4, if you look at this filly's best races, they've all come off a freshening or a layoff. I think that that's key here because on form you may wonder if she's ready, but a past precedent indicates that she fires best fresh.
Okay, now we will go to the fourth race, the 7 furlong claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $8,000. I went with the number 6 in here, El Bendenat, and I believe you did too. And this is one is stepping up and turning back after returning from that 2-month layoff the track to pace and finish second to a repeat winner called Alguna. That was going a mile. It was at the $6,250 level. I don't see any jump up in competition here.
Nope.
Trainer Peter Walder, 36% with second off the 45 to 180-day layoff. You know, I just think this is the horse to beat in here.
I think she's a standout, to be completely honest about it. Meadow Touch is the key rival. We both agree on that. She's taking her game 7 furlongs after running well last time out behind repeat winner Double Desert. Now, Double Desert was very impressive in that race, and Meadow Touch may stand to improve second start off the layoff for Monty Brinsley. If the 6 decides that she's not going to bring her A game, and the only way I think that happens is if she's not apt to the 7 furlong journey, but she's shown that she can win over it. I think Meadow Touch stands to be the horse that beats her.
Well, I have Meadow Touch in here, but I also like the 3 Sotaria, and I'll tell you why. This was stepping up after defeating $6,250 3 lifetime claimers, but padding her record at 7 furlongs to 4 starts, 2 wins in a second. I love horses that like the 7 furlong distance. One of my angles. I don't know if this horse is, classy enough to beat El Benedat, but I just like the fact that she runs well at 7 furlongs. Always been a key to me.
Maybe I've been saying this horse's name wrong. Actually, the Archie Bunker of horse racing, you just actually might have touched on something. Sorteria does make a little sense to me. If you want to do me a favor, ask Rodolfo Garcia when they come in the paddock.
I will do that.
I think I might have been butchering this horse all summer long. In any case, Holy Day drops in class, and she makes the ticket here. Silken Sequence, who was second in her most recent, came back to win the feature race. Was that Monday afternoon. Holy Day is going to have to wake up. This is a career low for her. The post draw is no bargain, but she looks the best of the rest of me.
Well, let's go to our 5th race of the afternoon, 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. We mentioned the turf course is listed as good. The rail is at 15 feet. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life, $16,000 the claiming level. I went with the 2 in here, and I'll tell you why. This a little Miss Sure Shot looks like the sure thing to me when she steps up after circling 6 wide. She defeated $12,500 condition claimers at the distance, including a pair of next out winners, one called Lady Joyful and Wild Eris. Both of those horses come back to win their next races. Trainer Gustavo Delgado just been having a fantastic meeting. Edgar Prado up, key race angle. What do you got to get hit in the head with a rock?
Well, that's what I said about you last time with her. You didn't like her at all the last time, and she ran by your horses like they were tied to a fence post. So I struck while the iron was hot with little Miss Sure Shot. I'm going to go elsewhere. I'm going to go with the Chicago Invader, Slivikova, for trainer Christine Jenks. Assistant trainer and longtime South Florida conditioner Hector Vieira has these horses down here. He's been doing very, very well with all of these horses. This horse has a win over the turf course. I don't think she needs the lead. She's been able to sit off the pace effectively. Takes a drop-in class from Illinois-bred allowance horses at Hawthorne last time. I think that is a drop-in class here today. Logical spot for this horse to make her South Florida debut, and I trust that Hector will have her ready to go. Carlos Marquez has been riding for this outfit and doing quite well. She's a logical play at a bit of a price in a race that finally I think has some depth to it.
And number 8, Wild Eris, so we mentioned, third behind Little Miss Sure Shot. And Lady Joyful back on November 2nd. Steps up. She defeated those $8,000 2 lifetime claimers last night by a nose. I thought that was a pretty good performance. So you see,
You did? Yeah. Did you watch the replay?
Yes, I did.
Well, it's only credit to Antonio Gallardo for getting her to win. She did everything she could to wait around for Honey Bunny Boo Boo. I didn't think that she ran all that well, to be honest. If you watch that replay, I think she's probably supposed to win.
You have to realize they thought Honey Bunny Boo Boo was going to be odds on and win just for fun, and this horse actually had enough gusto to beat her.
Well, I think she's, as you like to say, a key contender for a minor award. I mean, she makes some sense. She's fairly honest. I just, from a win propensity, I don't know that I can ever endorse her again based on her last running line.
Well, you also went with the number 9 horse in here, English Bank.
Yeah, why not? She looks like she has a big chance in here. I think she might be forgot about. Her last race was against Red Minx, who was an odds-on winner from the Ralph Nix barn. It was sprinting. I don't think English Bank wants to sprint, although I think that there might be some strategy involved here. Maybe they tried to sharpen her up a little bit, and now she's back in going long here this afternoon. You can draw a line through that race 2 back. She was in on the dirt course, which she's not shown that she likes. Focus on the race 3 back. She's a length winner from off the speed at 7-1 over this course. beating Trace Hermanos, who was an odds-on favorite from the Peter Walder barn that afternoon. If she runs that race back, they're going to have trouble with her. And again, I think she'll be forgot about on the windows. Makes a lot of sense to me if you're playing the Rainbow Six and you're playing the Pick 4. I think this is a race where you do have some depth in it. Spread a little bit and try to get a price.
Yeah, because I also have the 4 Bossy Gala. This one is dropping into this 3 Lifetime Company, debuting on the grass after facing Open Company and both local 6 furlong sprints. I just thought this horse on the class drop. She's the daughter of Pioneer of the Nile. Tyler Gaffalione, been riding lots of long shots. So the way we see this race, it looks like you got to go deep for the opening leg of the Rainbow Six again.
I was just going to say it a little less diplomatic than that. I was going to say that we were on the same page for the first 4 races, and we realized that it was probably not a good idea, so we take the gloves off for race number 5.
Right.
Gaffalione, as you touched on, he's been riding very well, but he's also shown he's very, very good on the grass as well. I agree with you. This race is a spread in the Rainbow Six.
Well, let's go to the 6th. This is a mile 70 yards. Claim is 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. We both went with number 6, Dreaming of Joey.
No, we didn't.
Oh, no? What'd you have?
No, we didn't.
Oh, that was the last race. Number 2 you went with in here. And now we got to talk about the name of this horse, too, because I don't know why you call it with the way you say it.
Condestable. That's correct.
You checked that?
Yes,
okay.
That's correct.
All right. Number 6, Dreaming of Joey, who we do not have together, stretching out an additional 70 yards today after setting the pace. That's key. Remember that sentence right there. And getting caught late with finishing second to similar going a mile. To me, he looks like the controlling speed for trainer Ronnie Spatz and aforementioned in the last race, Tyler Gaffalione. I don't see any other speed that's going to run with this horse early. So a speed play, number 6, Dreaming of Joey.
Can't argue with you. Just try. Again, sometimes you just have personal preferences. You loved him 2 back. He ran awful. We both loved him last time out. He was 8-1, and he blew a big lead to a horse that really he probably should have fought off a little bit better. Gaffalione gets the return call. I agree with you that he's lone speed. He's at a fairly quick pace. You have to remember the run up here at 1 mile over this main track is very, very short. So if you're going sub 25, you're moving early. And Dreaming of Joey went 48-4 to the half after a quarter and 24-2. So, he was well rationed last time. I tried to beat him here. I like Condestable. He's been interestingly managed lately, I can say that. That looked like they were giving up on this horse 2 and 3 starts back, but he delivered a pretty big win behind fellow speedster Dreaming of Andier. Then he was put in against J.B. Zunk and Chillin' Dillon. Don't know what that's about, but obviously he's no worse for the wear. He's back in just 6 days. He makes some sense to me because I think that he's going to sit off of the speed of your horse Dreaming of Joey and get first run on everybody else. He's a viable alternative in my opinion, but I guess you think so too.
Yeah, and I actually put in my stuff, if Dreaming Joey fails to negotiate the distance, this is the horse that's going to just jump up and get it done. Then I didn't know what to do, to be honest, with Temecula Creek. This 10-year-old making its 70th start. I really respect the connections in here with, Gustavo Delgado, Edgar Zayas, but bounced last time out or just did not run. And this horse can always jump up and grab a share. I'm not convinced. When I put my Rainbow Six ticket together, I only used the 2 and 6 in this race.
I don't know that I can really argue your point. I haven't seen your ticket, but right. I mean, I think that this race, you can't really afford to go too deep in here only because it's a 7-horse field. The other horses I gave some consideration to, number 3, Giddy Up Amigo. He looks awful based on his last 2. In fact, he looks so bad that I want to say that I think that he's better than those 2 races. I mean, he's had his head handed to him his last 2 races, but he doesn't appear that he's any worse for the wear because he's coming back in 2 weeks. He gets a rider switch here to Jonathan Gonzalez, and this is just a hunch. That's all I can tell you. Giddy Up Amigo. Number 7, All Keyed Up, takes a drop back to reality. He was in against Chillin' Dillon and J.B. Zunk last time. Way over his head 2 starts ago against Fund It. He's back in against a field that makes sense. He's another one that maybe I'll show a little bit of tactical speed. Eric Rodriguez takes over. Tammy Levy, always tough to leave off your tickets.
Our 7th race today, 7.5 furlongs on the good turf course. Claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $8,000. Number 10, Jessica Mambo, is dropping to the $8,000 level in the first start since she was claimed out of a victory. That was against $16,000 claimers at the distance. Normally, you would think there would be a red flag flying, but this barn, fighting for leading owner title, spots this horse where they're going to jam it down their throat and see if they could win 2 in a row at a lower level today. So I put the number 10, Jessica Mambo, right on top of my ticket.
Well, I don't know that I can really come up with a compelling counter argument to that. only from the standpoint of you get claimed for 16, you run back for 8.
But this barn does that all the time.
I know. But she was in for 20 the start before that, so she's progressively dropped in class. She continues to slide down the class ladder, and I think you have to agree she's probably going to be odds on here, right?
Oh, she's going to be odds on, but I think the leading owner title has something to do with it. That's a guess on my part.
I mean, it makes complete sense. I'm not going to argue the point. I mean, sometimes there are favorites that I have strong opinions against. Sometimes there's favorites I just try to beat.
Right.
This would be a horse in the latter category for me. I'm not convinced that 2 turns is her best game, even though she won last time out going 2 turns. She was beautifully rationed by Zimmerman that afternoon. Paco gets the return call. There is some other speed in here. My House and Tina's Utopian Vision are going to push her along early. And you got to remember, Ronnie, there's some giving the ground here today, which we don't know how Jessica Mamba will handle that. I think that she's a logical play. I think she probably makes the most sense. Unfortunately for me, I left her off the ticket. I'm going to spread here and try to beat her.
Yeah, you went with the number 2. Oh, I also have on my ticket that Sweet Dreamin' makes the 3rd start of its current form cycle.
Ding, ding, ding. 3rd start of the form cycle. Draw a line through that first race off the layoff. Finished well last time out. Rider switch here to Ramsey Zimmerman. Appears to be headed in the right direction. Has been keeping good company, running against wide open ranks. I really wanted to use Lady Joyful on top, but I knew that if I did, you would harass me and I wouldn't have a good counter argument because she's moving from lifetime conditions to wide open, which is a huge step up. But she's just so good right now, and her running style, I think, will suit this course well. Like I said, there's a little give in the ground here today.
That Lady Joyful was one of those horses coming out of their key race that we just talked about a couple of races ago, so keep that in mind when you're putting your ticket together. I agree with you, number 3, Ghost on the Run, turning back slightly after coming within the nose of defeating Similar to Mile. I think this mare has found both her proper level and surface. Angel Quiroz, Leonardo Conslaves, I just think this is a horse that, and I see you need on your ticket, especially if you're spreading in those Rainbow 6, Pick 5, and whatever exotic ticket you might be putting together.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the chinks in the armor of Jessica Mambo are a couple things. The turf course has got some give in it, which probably is not going to favor speed. I mean, it's so far this meet. You have some other speed in here, and she's going to be a huge underlay because she's going to be hammered, winning for 16 and right back in for half that.
Well, let's go to the 8th race. And this 8th race is 6 furlong claim is 3-year-olds and up. $6,250. A jockey change on number 2, Times Concern. Make the rider Jose Alvarez in there. And I went with the number 6 in here, Rigby. Is debuting locally for Jorge Navarro and White Wabbit Racing. This is one of the other guys who's second right now in the owner standings. Keep that in mind. First start since beating Similar, going 5.5 furlongs at Monmouth, if you heard me there, on September 27th. Barn is 32% with the 31 to 60-day freshening, and the Ridgeling is a 5-time winner at 6 furlongs or 3/4 of a mile.
Certainly likes to win races. He's a 14-time winner overall.
Right.
You already know my big chink in the armor. You already touched on it.
Right.
There's a couple other things that have me a little concerned about Rigby. He gets claimed when a 10-pound apprentice is up. They run right back and ride the bug boy. And then the next time when he's 5-1, mind you, it's the end of September in New Jersey.
Right.
In my opinion, this is just my opinion, the racing in New Jersey through the summertime and through about Labor Day is really, really competitive, good racing. And then after that, it's whoever's left. And I think that Rigby is beating on whoever's left more than the horses that he'd been racing against prior to that. I mean, he was beat 1 home off the claim in a race before that, and then 2 starts back. He's only 5th of 9. He's 6th of 6 at Belmont. I mean, his form wasn't all that good going into that last race. Alice Cartwright got the ride that day. Yeah, I mean, what can I tell you? I mean,
one thing I've learned over the last couple of months doing this show with you is that you have an awful lot of opinions.
Well, that's why I'm a horse player. I mean, I guess, what I'm saying, the bottom line here is, can I talk you off Rigby? No. Will I talk you off Rigby? No. Will I bet on Rigby? No.
The 4, I mean, that makes sense now. Number 4, Hurricaner is stretching out to the only distance where it's ever won. 6 previous races at this distance. 3 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. All other distance did not win. After 3rd behind a local legend here, and that is Dangerous Trick. That was going 5.5 furlongs. And Dangerous Trick has been around here forever, a hard-knocking campaigner. And I just thought the 4 Hurricaner stretching out to its best distance, or its only distance it's ever won at, deserves a spot somewhere on my ticket.
Once again, can I argue with you? No, not at all. Dangerous Trick, and then Sir Edgar, who's not italicized in your racing form, but he should be because he came back to win again yesterday. Hurricaner ran well off the claim. I'm kind of curious as what this horse really wants to do. He showed before that last race that his best race was on or near the lead. They sat with him the last time from an inside gate, or rather from a good start, I should say, and then he finished third. Loses his rider here this afternoon. Ramsey Zimmerman does not get the return call. I'm intrigued about how that'll work out here for Hurricaner. I went with Time's Concern. I think he's a viable upset possibility here. Does have a victory over this course. He's an 11-time winner. He's a winner of 2 of his last 3 races. He was in against way tougher last time with Alico Castle and Van Citra and Blimey, who was the sharp horse coming in from New Jersey. He won 2 starts ago and beat Unleash the Humor, who came back to win. And here's the one I like. He won 3 starts ago. He was 50-1 that day, but he beat Karate Jack, who has been come back to be a buzzsaw at this level. I think he's a viable upset possibility, even with Jose Alvarez getting the call here.
Yeah, number 3, Aries Pride, as you mentioned, has been competitive with the horse you just mentioned, hard-knocking Karate Jack. Dangerous trick, 5 for 9 in the money on the Gulfstream Park West surface. So a horse that, if you key off those angles, which you do have him in the second spot, I'd have him on the ticket too. Let's go to the 9th race. We have a few minutes left. This one is 5 furlongs on the turf. Allowance optional claimer, 25,000, 3 and up. We want to show you a video from back on October 31st, and it's at the start. Want to see what happens here to Ginger Goose as it comes out of the gate here. You'll see it right now. And the number 3 horse is Ginger Goose. You will see the start there. Boom, right to its nose. And this horse is a starker, but had to be back, all the way back in that race and came back. I wanted to show you that performance there. I did go with the 2 full moons back, running for a $25,000 tag after coming within the nose at 17-1 of winning the Gin Rummy Champ. White Wabbit again. I'm going with this angle of who's trying to win the owner's title here. Jorge Navarro, the trainer. Ginger Goose, you saw why.
That's very, very good backtrack for Ginger Goose. Broom horses have not been ready off the van. Second start of the meet for this horse. He makes my ticket as well. I'm with Ronnie on Full Moon's back in a very competitive race.
Yeah, dedicated to Bob. I threw in there, making third start back from the layoff. Last race today, as we mentioned at the top of the show, this one is off the turf. We couldn't have 2 turf races in a row because of they have to roll it after each race, so they took this one off the turf. 1 mile off track, on the main track, 25,000 maiden filly 2-year-olds, 2, 3, 9, 13 to scratch. I think Queen Cooper is the one to beat in here. Looks like the lone speed. Ba-boom, gone.
Nah, I don't know about that, but I like Queen Cooper just
You
the
don't
same.
like the ba-boom, or you don't think he's going to be gone?
I don't want him on or near that. I want him off the speed a little bit. I want her to sit off the speed of a couple of the cheap speed horses, which I think exist here and outside post positions. But I agree with you. She's the horse to beat. Carolyn takes a big drop in class. She ran very, very bad 2 starts ago. Should be noted, again, sometimes the company lines don't mean that much when you're beat that far. But Danessa Deluxe, who won that race, came back to beat Moment of Delight in an allowance race, and she's in tomorrow in the Delta, or Saturday in the Delta Princess at Delta Downs, a $400,000 contest.
Wow, so keen off that. Well, that's how we see the card. Anything else before we head out? We both have the 6 in there. I think on the, stretching out to a mile. Paco wearing blinkers, failed to show much, but that was at Keeneland in his 6 furlong debut. Chris Gaddis, now the trainer of record for the number 6. Thyrolos? How are we going to say that?
I'll have to look it up on Forvo.com, the track announcer's best friend.
Good luck, everybody. Today, remember, we got a fast main track, good turf. All races on the turf except the last. That one will be run on the fast main track.
Good race card. It gets harder as we get along, so take some stands early and hope you can get alive to the Rainbow Six.